Is this thing on? You know, now that I'm 50, Chef, I'm going to have
these
real struggles.
These electronic things are going to become more and more challenging.
Yes. Well, welcome everybody.
How do you send a picture?
That's right. The picture screen thingy. What do you call that? So this is Ed and Chris. We're here to do our weekly tasting of wines from all around the world. We do it here live and in person every Thursday night at ONS Winery, but for those of you that are not comfortable getting out and about yet due to, well, let's face it, this old COVID bug's been ruining everything for a lot of people, but we're slowly going to get back into the groove, but until then we're going to keep doing virtual tastings.
It's fun to do virtual tastings anyway. I mean, even when you...
I agree.
After the shots are done, I mean, it's just fun to do this in the comfort of your own home.
Yep, absolutely. And we're gonna keep firing away because it gives Chris and I a chance to drink more wine.
Absolutely, which is really the main reason.
That's what's really important, I think. And so we appreciate y'all joining us while we, do our thing. So it was another weird weather week. We lost our in-house tasting last week due to weather, inclement, icy stuff that really never amounted to much, but it was enough to scare everybody to death.
Well, and I think everyone had already planned on saying
it. Yeah.
And we opened for a while, and not a soul came out and said, well,
yeah,
it was probably going to be more of the same of this, and cut our losses.
Yep, so we did have a great week, though. Our weekend was huge, and we had a great chef's table. We had a hero firefighter from LA come and join us for him and his wife, the chef's table. And we ended up staying until past midnight.
We were here a long time.
Talking to them. That's always fun when you connect with someone from different backgrounds and how much they appreciate common things, and that would be wine and food.
They were fun to get to know, and that's one of the great things about the chef's table. You spend 3 or 4 hours with people, and you get to exchange a lot of stories and learn a lot about folks, and you make friends.
Yeah. And it's not just the buzz, It's
it
just,
helps.
But yeah, it does. You're in a business, get a little loose.
You don't make a lot of friends at the grocery store and parking lot.
That's true.
But the wine helps.
That's true.
Of course, I drink at the grocery store, so probably have made a friend or two there.
I think everybody there thinks you work there, and they're always asking you what to order and what to buy, and where is the pasta, where is the salt. And
I often forget to take my apron off. I'll go to the grocery store straight from here. Never fails. Always to a couple people.
Yeah.
Hey, can you help me? Sure. Yeah, come on, let's go. I'll see.
So you Lowe's higher ups there be thinking about getting this guy on the payroll. He's helping you out.
Toss me a free onion every week or something like that.
Yeah.
I help a lot of customers.
Oh, and real quick, a little shout out to the birthday girl.
Birthday girl, my youngest.
12, is that correct?
One of Ed's goddaughters.
A dozen.
Dozen years old.
It's amazing, and she thinks that I'm a great salami.
You are a wonderful salami.
Thank you very much. Not a sommelier, but a salami. Whatever. I'll take
whatever.
it. Yeah, I've been
close.
I've been called worse. And
of all the things you've been called.
And salami is delicious. Let's face it.
You wouldn't want some salami.
That's right. Actually, salami would be pretty good with this, right?
It'd be outstanding.
Well, happy birthday, Lauren. And also, happy birthday, Annie out there. Chris Folk, Chef
Annie
Chris.
Folk,
His daughter turned 16, I think.
16.
That's crazy. I'm getting older, clearly. So, let's talk wine. Beautiful nose here. We are starting off in Italy today. This is Super Tuscan, and Super Tuscan is a great opportunity for winemakers in Italy to do the kind of winemaking they want to do. They're not restricted to what grapes they grow. It gives them a lot of freedom, but they can also do indigenous grapes as well. And this is the case, even though this is considered a Super Tuscan, it is 100% Sangiovese. So they didn't really need that necessarily, that designation to make this wine, but they just happen to fall into that. And it could be year after year they might change it.
Yeah.
But this year, this is beautiful Sangiovese, and we don't do a lot of Sangioveses. And I'm thinking, why not? I need to do more of that.
Well, once you open one, and you're like,
You
man,
remember,
remember when we used to drink Sangiovese?
yeah.
It's a great Virginia grape too. A lot of great Sangioveses.
It does really well there. Absolutely. This is a great soft version of Sangiovese. Oftentimes they can be really, really tight, wound up, and need a lot of time to soften. And a lot of times that's why they're blended with other grapes to soften. I mean, Chianti, that region is known for Sangiovese, but generally speaking, 15% of that bottle is another grape to try to soften the intensity of the Sangiovese grape. This, however, is a more modern version. We're seeing more and more of this. We have the Fontini on our list here that sells very well. It's just a modern, easier drinking Sangiovese. But, if you're a purist, you're going to want something more in lines of, like a Brunello, which kind of got me on that kick when I brought in some really nice Brunello, and Sangiovese has been on my mind. Now, Brunellos are, you're $100, $150 a bottle, so we're probably not going to do many of those here at this table, but, maybe at home, or maybe
something to
if
get a bug in your ear thinking about a special occasion coming up,
that's right, or if maybe somebody invited us over for dinner.
like next week.
Yeah, we do. We
Free on
travel.
Wednesday.
We travel. We travel with one. So, what do you think about this wine, Chef?
I think it's wonderful. I loved how soft this is without compromising the fruit.
Agreed.
Normally when you have a soft wine, it's very watery. This is soft. It doesn't have a lot of tannin, by what I mean soft, but the fruit is throughout.
Absolutely.
And so that
And
is
it lingers.
Lingers. That is usually not the case with a softer wine, and so there's something about this that is really appealing to me. This is a great food wine.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to wreck something that you put with it, and
it's a great every night drinker. Yeah, this is, and it can go with so many things. It does surprisingly have some dark fruit, maybe going into plum. Sangiovese is really known for being high-toned reds in flavor profile. This certainly has that, but it also has, to me, kind of that kind of plummy blueberry at the end.
plummy blueberry for sure, and like a marinated plum. Not a real sharp plum, but I love plums.
A ripe one that's
A
juicy.
ripe plum that's juicy. It's not too astringent.
They're hard to find though.
You have to be one of those people at the store who kind of touches all of them. To really get a good plum. Mrs. Wishart loves plums, and the kids and the plums and nectarines are normally right beside her. So I usually throw like 6 or 8, all of them in there. Just take them home because they'll destroy them. But they're big.
I was lucky
Big
enough to
plum
grow
trees.
up with a peach tree and a pear tree in our backyard. But boy, I sure would have liked to have had a plum tree because
Plum tree would be something.
it's just one of those off the radar fruits that we don't enjoy much. Well, here you have your plum in your wine, so you don't have to go pick a plum.
Well, who doesn't like a plum pudding?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
What a
Yeah, I
Christmas,
think-
well, more of an English Christmas thing.
Yeah.
But plum pudding is just fantastic.
But I think prunes kind of give plums a bad name because that's what people associate.
Yeah,
with
they do.
prune juice, and they're staying regular.
And it's too bad too because it's too bad.
Yeah. Well, at my age, I'm gonna have to start doing it.
Well, that's true. I mean, I think you get an actual you get a bag of dried prunes with your AARP card.
Oh yeah, well that should be in the
It's
mail.
like a starter
Yeah,
kit.
it should be in the mail. Well, what are you gonna throw at this food boss?
Well, I was going to do something different, but in honor of the salami, I think I'm going to. I've actually
sweet.
got some great salami in. We just got 3 different varieties. We got the Irish Stout, we have the fennel, and we have the cherry pie
Is that
salami.
American Butcher?
American Butcher.
Yeah,
So I think
that's
we'll do
amazing.
I've got a little bit of that pastrami duck too. We'll do a little bit of all 3 of
Oh,
those.
yeah.
A little bit of the duck, a little bit of the fennel, a little bit of the cherry, maybe a couple slices of that Irish Stout. We'll just do a little Ed salami tasting.
I love it, and hopefully there'll be some scraps for me.
There usually is.
By the way, the reservations are strong for in-house tasting tomorrow. Just so you know.
Well, we've been the weather has knocked us out of 2 of the last 4, so
Yeah.
people are hungry to get back into it.
Yep, and I've got a bunch of cases of wine here that people have ordered, so
It's exciting.
that they paid for, and it's just sitting there. And I'm very tempted to, help them drink it if they're not going to pick it up.
I'm about to say, I mean, if we need to create some space to put some things, we're up to the challenge.
Yeah. Sometimes we can get away with it, other times not. Usually, actually, most people are pretty nice to say, here, have wine. That reminds me, we still have a great wine we need to drink together that someone gifted us.
Okay.
We can do that after this. Maybe.
See, I like it when like when someone orders 8 bottles and you just give them 7, and they're like, "Yeah, I thought I ordered 8." I'm like, nah, it was 7.
No. Well, it must have broken transit.
Something like that.
Something like
I mean, we didn't drink it.
Couldn't never do it.
That's crazy talk.
But I tell you what, salami and this Sangiovese would be a beautiful pairing, chef. That fatty protein with this.
And lots of bright accompaniments interwoven in these salamis too.
Yeah.
It's going to be. It's going.
I'm curious to see how the fennel will
Me too.
pull out on this.
The first sip, you got that touch of fennel, and it kind of died off after
Yeah.
the next few. The fruit became more.
Yeah, it's
prevalent.
definitely a fruit-driven wine, which is not typical for Old World. But here it is. It just reminds me of like kind of California meets Italy.
Yes, it's more sun ripened. Not that Italy doesn't have sun ripened everything, but the California stuff normally is more drenched fruit. But it's great. I mean, that's going to be a winner on so many levels.
And you know what? It's only $14.
Can't beat it.
$14. And so you can drink this by the caseload a week and not worry about it. And it's a twist off. Make life even easier for you. So if you're looking for one of those, something with your pizza or your burger, but it could also pull off with your meat and cheese and your steak for that matter. This would be a good one for you.
Yeah, and it's great. The twist offs are great. You had a long day. You don't have to wait till you get in the house. You're walking from the car to the door. You're already into it. You don't have to go set everything down and use your wine tool, and you can just cut right to it.
Right. So that's a pro tip. All right, so we're going to move on to Portugal. We do not, I'm trying to remember all the places that I get caught up in these. I taste so many wines, and I kind of forget that, I'm missing some places for you guys that I want you to see. I know we tend to do a lot of French and Spain and California, and that's because
a lot of South America lately.
Yeah,
Been on
that's
a kind
true,
of a
yeah.
South America kick.
But people
I
like
it.
all of them.
I do too.
They keep buying them all. But also, I will feel like I'm not doing my job as a somm if I'm not teaching you about other areas as well. Now, this is not a typical Portuguese packaging. This is kind of, I would say it's probably geared towards more the American consumer as far as marketing. And just by the nature, it's called 12 Nights Opulent Red. And so this is one thing that I think that they do get, is that Americans don't understand the great varietals of Portugal. And that has been a big hurdle for their sales, in my opinion. Now, if you taste a Portuguese wine, you're going to love it, in my opinion.
Everyone.
I think it really
Every
fits.
single
I
one.
really think it does sing to the American palate. Big, juicy reds. And it seems across the board no matter what varietal it is. But with that being said, until they find out a way to kind of present those and get people to buy them, to taste them off the shelf, they're still going to struggle. And so this is one way of doing it. Instead of advertising the grape, they're going to call it an opulent red. So you've already kind of painted this picture in your brain, like, ooh, that sounds like something I would like. And instead of saying Touriga Nacional and Alicante Bouchet, which this is a blend of, which might not sing at all to the average wine consumer in the United States. Now, I am a big fan of both of those grapes, and Alicante Bouchet is something that Chef and I have served many times at the chef's table.
Many, many, many times.
Touriga Nacional is probably the most famous grape in Portugal, and you're actually seeing it grown in Australia and California. People are starting to catch on that these grapes are versatile. They're great for blending, which they often do in Portugal. Generally speaking, they are blenders, kind of like southern France, and they get the best out of these grapes. Now, are they to the point where you could blind taste grapes from Portugal and identify them? I don't know if that's quite where we're at yet, but I think they are important grape varietals, and if we get introduced to them, whatever way it is, and start tasting these wines, we will eventually learn the names of them, even though they are a little bit out of our wheel well as far as pronunciation. Just like Gewürztraminer is very difficult in German, but most people kind of get that. And I don't think that no one would spell it right, but they can say it and they know what it is. And I think that that's the same case for Alicante Bouchette. I think it could be a household name in a sense amongst wine drinkers. We just got to get the wine in front of them and make them passionate enough about it to remember the name of it. And I think a lot of wines will just put AB on it, just for short. Yeah. So have some of that AB. But this is a beautiful blend.
It does help. It does help to give the wine a quote unquote name when you're trying to emerge in a market, and you're already facing an uphill battle with pronunciation.
Right.
Is smart marketing.
I gotta tell you though, it is opulent. It is a beautiful wine. It is so chocolatey.
It is. It is like a cherry chocolate tart.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, it
because there's a little butter in there, like a butter tart.
It's and let that first sip. I mean, it coats the fat in this wine just coats your mouth, and
there's sneaky acidity here. It's hidden.
Yeah, and you get a little mouth water.
Right.
You're getting big red fruit. You're getting the chocolate notes, the cocoa. I mean, it's got
the cocoa is insane. And there is that some elements, like you said, of cocoa butter, the fat. It's a really interesting wine, and the first time I tasted it, I'll be honest with you, because the price is very low, I was kind of skeptical. But then I was like, well, it is Portugal.
You're trying to break in.
Yeah, and then again, here we have another $14 bottle of wine, and it over delivers, and it is absolutely delicious. And these two wines are very different from one another, but they both deliver things that I think that our guests and you out there in virtual land will really appreciate the versatility of it, and how it'll help ease your budget, your purse strings, because you'll be able to buy a lot more other wines, because if you dive into this, it's not hurting the piggy bank. No,
you're not. And this is not an insult by any stretch of the imagination, but if you were trying to get somebody into wine, I mean, like, if you like cheer wine, you'll like this.
Yeah. You know what?
I mean, because, again, it doesn't taste like cheer wine. I'm just saying, we often try to take household things.
Sure. Yeah.
To try to compare, meaning it doesn't taste just like that.
You're trying to, you don't go from A to Z, you go A, B, C. You're trying to get, I did just get some more interesting dried fruits now that's kind of opened up in the glass. I did get some fig and prune in there in a very pleasing way. Still with that chocolate back note to it, that persistent cocoa butter thing going on.
And boy, the acid's kicking in now after the second sip.
Yeah. And
the water's pouring on.
Would you say there's some kind of nut, like a macadamia nut, like one of those
like
softer,
dry, not roasted?
Yeah.
You know how a macadamia nut is, and before you bake it, very much so.
I mean, it's not like a real intense. It's one of those softer
like
nuts.
a Marcona almond,
right?
How those are real soft, and they're not as stringent as.
Listen to all the things that we're describing in this wine. If you can describe many things in a wine, generally speaking, you've got a good wine in your hands. It's not linear. It's not simple, but at the same time, it's very approachable. This is not something that's going to be too much for a casual or newbie in the wine. Like you said, it'd be a great way to introduce someone to wine. And wow, I'm going to introduce my belly to this.
I really like it, and little to no tannin on this. Again, lots of different fruits, a lot of different things happening on the palate in different stages. Just a lot of fun, very well balanced.
Yeah,
good acid.
Yeah, but I think this is one for the masses, and I hope y'all like it as much as we do. We don't often get this excited about our wines, but these were both nice surprises.
Boy, they are, and the price tag on that is just
Yeah.
very generous.
Well, we've been, you and I personally have been drinking a lot of expensive wines over the last several weeks.
Yeah, we've been on a tear.
We like to use my birthday as an excuse, but we were doing it anyway.
We've been kind of punishing the sellers here lately, and it's been great.
Yeah,
So
so
we're not done.
But I think that really helps elevate our palate as tasters. And then again, it's not to be looking down on lower priced wines. It actually helps us understand inexpensive wines even better, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I sent Ed a little video last night. I was watching this Somm. They set him up to try 20 wines, all under $15. These were all grocery store wines. And couple of the things I took out of it were two of the wines that he tasted were ones that I buy at the store a lot, which I was thrilled. I mean, one of those Tempranillos is something that was my go-to at the
Spain.
store.
We always talk about Spain.
Anyway, he went on and on about that, but it was surprising. It's just like what we do. He probably had 3 or 4 wines. He was blind tasting these wines. These aren't something you would serve in a restaurant. These are certainly grocery store labels. But he was like, these are drinking $30, $40 above their pay grade. Mm-hmm. And that's something that you really hang your hat on, is finding wines. Just because they're $14 doesn't mean they're drinking like they're $14.
Oh, and he shelled quite a few.
Oh, he did
like
shell.
big name
time.
ones.
Yeah,
not to mention names, but he
shelled
wasn't
some big time.
He wasn't like
he was not paid.
He was
to be
loyal
there.
to his palate.
Yeah,
which
he was not paid to do this.
That's one of the things that I get.
And his favorite were the Rhone wines.
Of course. Yeah.
So,
yeah, one of the things people ask me is like, why don't you have this wine or that wine? It's like I don't show favoritism. I am loyal to my palate, and when I'm pairing, wines with his food, it's all about his food. I'm not trying to, there's no agenda as for labels. I don't have any label loyalty whatsoever. Everybody earns their reputation in every glass, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm fortunate enough to be in a position to do that. I'm not beholden to have to peddle wines. I can just show you what I think is great.
That's great. And
it's a real blessing. And I think there's a lot of honesty, and I think it translates.
It does translate, and that doesn't mean you won't see. I think one of the real benefits of that too is when you have something that works. It's not so much that you're going to be like always trying to put that back in front of someone, but you can darn sure believe that house is going to get some of their other varietals tasted, and their new vintages are going to get first shot at tasting. Because like, hey, we've had this, we know it's good. We've had a couple of different offerings. Mm-hmm. New vintages come out, they're going to get tasted first. So there's, it's not so much like you're someone's pawn,
right.
For a Washington State winery. So much, it's like, but if you liked it,
Speaking of which, we had that great Washington cab yesterday.
Was it Hammers or?
I don't know. It's something. It's new to the East Coast.
Matthews is great.
That's going to be.
So I like this. Fruity, soft tannins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Had some a lot of red fruit in it. It was great.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that next week or the week after something. But
yeah, I mean,
we don't ever plan what we're going to drink. I mean, I have the thousands of wines that I taste, and I have them laying around. Chris is like, "All right, let's go upstairs and record. What are you going to have?" I was like, "Well, I got this, or this," and that's where we are with it.
Well, in our pre-production meetings, which involve the stairs.
Yeah, that's our
walking up the stairs to do this.
Yeah, we're not pros, but we get the job done, I guess.
Somehow,
at least it's authentic, right?
No one can say otherwise.
That is because it says so right here in the script, right? Yeah.
You have a script?
Hey, are we gonna just do salami all the way through? Or are you gonna do?
Oh no, we were gonna do the barely buzzed, which I think is gonna be outstanding. I had a couple of cheeses in my repertoire that I wanted to taste the wine and then see what would work. And this is the espresso and honey.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Crusted aged cheddar.
Cocoa and
The
espresso.
cocoa and espresso, and it's just going to be made in heaven, and without the aging on the cheddar, it's going to be outstanding.
Yes, it will.
So of the three I kind of had in mind, we'll just play that one on.
You nailed it.
It's going to be great.
That was smart. Well, that's part of this is seeing Chris's true reaction when he tastes these. Of course, I have tried these, but don't necessarily give him clues as to what it is. And,
No idea.
But what I will say this, I mean, there's probably going to be one day where you're like, that's not for me. But we have very similar palates. We like the same kind of wines. So if I've already vetted, the wines and I know that I like it, chances are he's going to like it.
Well, and we've both said, I mean, I've said before, like, this wouldn't be my go-to.
Yeah, you have said that, yeah.
But it doesn't mean you can't find the good attributes in the wine.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm here to talk about the great attributes in the wine. I mean, I'm not a somm. You're going to explain the high-end stuff. But, I've been drinking wine my whole life. I ran a wine program for 10 years. I don't have Ed's palate, but I do know wine. And so I'm going to tell you what I think. And I'm not going to sell you. And I'm not trying to sell you wine.
Yeah.
Neither one of us are really. I mean, if you want to buy it, great. But that's not the purpose of this. So we're trying to isolate the good things in the wine, whether we would buy them again or not.
That's true. Yeah.
So it is an honest review. I mean,
But I can tell you, you're going to buy these.
especially the San Jose base.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's right down your because we're always looking for those. Well, of course you have you have Mrs. Wishart who may or may not drink as much wine as you. And
no
so,
one can drink as much wine as me. But it's not for a lack of effort.
No, yeah.
Mrs. Wishart is training for her
that's true.
7th marathon right now. So
Yeah,
she's
not drinking like she used to.
She's not, and and she's really across the board right now too. I mean, she's having a beer on Saturday afternoon. She's having a little prosecco on Sunday and a little glass of wine with dinner. So she's not in her normal thing right now because she's kind of in training mode, which has put a tremendous burden on me to do the rest.
Well, it's funny because you haven't cut back on the amount of wine you've been buying.
An awful lot. Who asked you how much I went buy?
Well, anyway,
I drank so much on Sunday. It was one of those things where, you're just having a good time.
Yeah,
That's
the idea, right?
Yeah. Well, I came in here Sunday morning. I did the pictures for the chef's table. That always takes a couple, 3 hours. So that kind of burned my whole morning. It was about lunchtime, and I was like, well, that Pinot up there has been open for 2 days, and we're not going to serve it again. We're not going to serve it again until Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
I'd sure hate for that to go into the sauce.
Yeah.
So enjoyed a little Pinot when I was washing dishes.
That's a great way to start.
And I was cleaning up my mess, washing the dishes, drinking some Pinot. And went to the store and came home and opened a bottle of wine and was just drinking some wine, having a great day. The kids were gone. Mm-hmm. We worked the last 2 or 3 Sundays.
Yeah.
So I haven't been home on a Sunday in a while, and working this coming Sunday. So I was just happy. And anyway, and then Miss Wishart wanted to go to get pizza. Thirsty Souls, couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
So I had a couple of beers there. Get home, drink some more wine, and just having a great time. And just before you know it, I was asleep. And I woke up and I thought I'd been hit by a train.
Yeah.
Because I never felt drunk.
Right.
Just
steady.
It was just steady. I just never felt it. And then, I come down in the morning. I just couldn't walk. I was so hurt. And I look in the recycling bin. I was like, oh my God. What? And I wasn't even counting the Pinot here and the beers there. I was like, oh. Yeah, I never even realized it.
So you're somewhat of a detective. You figured all this out.
Yeah, I'm a sleuth. Well, let me tell you, Monday in here doing stuff was not fun. I felt your age.
Yeah. I could tell you weren't too happy.
I felt fine yesterday, but Monday was.
Oh, that's right. Yesterday was Tuesday. I can't even see. I'm at the age where I can't even tell the days.
You know what day it is.
Must be
Yesterday's
nice.
hard too because being an optional work day for a lot, but
Oh yeah, you don't mind?
anyway, I made it through. And by the time it was about 1 o'clock, I guess, 1 or 2 o'clock Monday afternoon. I'd done my stuff here, gone to the grocery store, so I've got like 3 things cooking at home. Getting things ready for the week. I'd already had 8 ibuprofen. I'd done everything. I just forget it. I started drinking again at like 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And guess what? By 2:15,
Yeah.
I was feeling just fine.
Yeah. Sometimes the hair of the dog's the only way out.
Well, just happens that way sometimes.
Not
Not
every
proud
time.
of it.
Not every time.
Oh Lord, no.
But there are times where that's the only way out.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's true.
Yeah. Now look at you. You're fine. You're healthy.
Oh,
you're
God,
in
yeah.
your,
I'm in my
you're a
prime.
young man in your 40s.
I'm in my prime.
Yeah. Well, I hope we've given you a lot of insight on wine and how to consume lots of it. And I hope you've enjoyed our banter. We always have a great time, and we really look forward to this every single week.
Every week.
We appreciate your patience with our video technical or lack thereof.
I sure hope we've been recording this whole time.
I bet we haven't. That would not surprise me. There's been
We'll do
so
it
many.
again in a minute.
There's been
It
so
is.
many times we've gone up and it's like, oh,
We
we never
start.
hit play or record, whatever. It's
Well,
called. I sound like I'm a
What them
100,000
newfangled buttons on?
We need to get some of these kids up here to run this for us. But then we have to pay people to do it. And then,
We're not doing that.
Anyway, we do
Gotta
have
get into our wine budget.
That's true. We can't have that. So anyway, we enjoy your time and thanks for listening to us. And we look forward to seeing you in person or seeing you right here on our YouTube channel in the very near future. Take care.
Thank you. Take care.